Understand something. Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie!
What's up, everybody? We are back for another episode of Abby's Window, and thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it. We got a lot of people here, so I'm going to throw out my normal disclaimer and say that we won't be going name by name, but welcome to all of you. And as always, here on Abby's Window, you got to have Abby, and Abby is joining us post surgery. So, Jody, how are you feeling first and foremost?
I'm doing okay. Got a pretty nice incision on my back. But finally starting to get to a good point where everything's kind of manageable.
Good.
I can't stand for very long. But like some of the numbness is going away, and yeah, as long as I stay in bed, I'm okay. But we only got really one piece of bad news with all of this, and that's that my employer can't honor the job restrictions that my surgeon put on me for the next 30 days until I go back and see him on the 25th. So basically, I don't have any way of bringing in income at the moment until after that doctor's appointment on the 25th, just because they can't accommodate all of the restrictions that he has. So I did start up a GoFundMe because out of all of it, assuming I get cleared to go back to work on the 25th, we're still going to be almost a month short of pay. So I did set up a GoFundMe, no obligation for you guys to contribute or anything like that. There's a couple of people that are willing to help us out some too. So yeah, and if you're not able to give any, please say a prayer for us, and that God will bring us through this financial struggle and come out stronger on the other side. So
absolutely. And you're gonna share that on social media?
I did. It's on my
Okay,
Twitter.
you did. Okay. All right. Yeah, if you can help, please help. But like Jody said, if you prayer is a powerful thing. So continue to say prayers for Jody and her family. We're gonna definitely keep you in our thoughts and prayers, Jody, and hopefully you continue to progress and hope and praying that everything works out.
Two broke to pay attention. So they do have short-term disability and FMLA, but you have to have been with the employer for a year, which I have not yet. My 1 year is in November, so I don't really have any other options as far as that goes.
Yeah. That's the
and even if I did, by the time you apply for it, get it, go to the doctor's appointment. I mean, they don't even start paying it out until 2 weeks after. Well, I have my doctor's appointment in 2 weeks, so what's the point?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
I'm feeling okay. We are going to see Brandon Lake on Saturday. That's going to be my first outing, I guess. Okay. But I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that'll be good. And I'm sure you're ready to get outside of the walls of the house. And
I am, but I'm not.
Yeah, but you're not. I got it.
Yeah, when I get up, I know it's going to hurt after a few minutes.
Yeah. Well, hopefully by then things will be a little bit better and it'll be a little more bearable. And we'll just keep saying prayers and pray that you're feeling better and can really enjoy that time out. Because I know I know you've been trying, so hold on one second. I'm sorry. I got my little people with me this week, so my little guy just came in, so he's out there playing Mario Kart. So but yeah, so welcome to all of you, and Jody, I'm gonna turn it over to you because we're gonna start with Caleb's corner. So
Yeah. So the
let's
only
do it.
reason I'm off camera today is because I'm literally in bed. Didn't really feel like venturing up the stairs. Yeah, because I knew that I probably wouldn't be able to get back down. So yeah, Caleb's corner. Caleb, a photographer, posted this of the free concert that he did in West Virginia. It was, I believe, and that's such a great shot. I love the colors in the background. But he did also post today updated tour dates, which very grateful that he continues to post those on a Monday afternoon, so that we have those in time for Abby's window and Caleb's corner. So, yeah, I think a lot of the dates are in October. Thank you. So Minnesota State Fair. Then he's going on to Connecticut, Massachusetts, Cleveland. The one that they added is the one in Michigan on the 14th, and Harper is begging me to take her. I told her that I wish I could take her to the one in Cleveland, but I can't because it's a casino. So I said, when one comes up that's near enough, that's not in a casino and you can actually go, I'll take you. So that one in Michigan is about five hours away. So she's begging me to take her. It's going to depend on money, really, at this point. So, yeah, all of those I believe are bat shows, except the Minnesota State Fair is. Oh no, it is a bat show. So these are all bat shows. Now that I'm looking at it, I thought the one on September 1st and 2nd wasn't. But the great thing about this tour and these guys is I've been to see this show several times and it's different every time. And I remember Caleb saying something like that in his interview too. Like, it feels different every time as a performer because the audiences are different every time. So yeah, even if you've seen it before, go see it again because it's just got these little nuances. It's a different show every time. And I will continue to go see it because it's an amazing show.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. Go check them out if you get a chance. And here's another thing you should check out if you have a chance. Go check out Jody's interview with
Yeah.
if you haven't done so.
Yep.
Go check that out and drop a like on it. And yeah.
That was a lot of fun getting to talk to him for it ended up being about 45 minutes, which was very, very nice of him. But yeah, we had a good little chat I'm excited about his music. Don't get me wrong. I love the Celebrating Meatloaf stuff, but I'm excited about what he's been working on in Nashville. I think he's been posting videos from like Nashville and stuff. So I'm curious to see this, the one album that's loosely based on the Book of Revelation and then this other Southern rock album. So I'm just really looking forward to what he's got coming up. And if my voice is a little raspy, I apologize. I had, I was under general anesthesia, so I had a tube down my throat. Yeah.
Well, that's completely understandable, and I can assure you that no one will fault you for having a raspy voice, because we're just happy that you're okay, and
if I talk too much, it's because I'm medicated.
that's all good too. All good too. And I mean, we're here to talk, and obviously we're here to talk about Bray Wyatt, and we got a bit of an update through Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp, talking about the extent of Bray's illness. Again, none of us are truly privy to the information. So again, just understanding that and also being delicate with someone else's health information, being that Jody and I both work in the healthcare field, HIPAA gets brought up a lot. So
HIPAA's important, you know.
HIPAA is very important. So so Jody, what did you think when you first heard that update, and what are your thoughts now about just where things are and where things can possibly go in terms of his health and
Mm.
just the fact that he seems to be doing better?
I'm just happy he's better. I mean, the I like I said, I always take things with a grain of salt, even if it's from somebody that's really reputable. Unless I hear it from, him or a family member, then I might be a little bit more prone to believe it, because obviously, we've seen that Bray is a liar, and they will swear, he swears people on purpose. He's really good at that. Um, so I don't know the validity of it being life threatening. I do know that he was ill. He was very ill. Um, and that's about all I can say. But I'm really glad that he is on the mend. I can understand WWE being very cautious about him coming back, and taking that time, make sure he has enough time to get back to 100% before he starts wrestling again. We've seen all kinds of weird side effects from different illnesses and different symptoms, and you just never know what's gonna hit you.
Yeah.
Like, I remember having the flu once, and um like, the only symptom I had was like muscle aches, and I tested positive for the flu, and I didn't really have a runny nose or anything like that. When Chris got COVID, the only symptom that he had, thank goodness, was he lost his sense of taste over Thanksgiving.
Mm.
And he was really unhappy because he was like, babe, I know this tastes so good because I've had it before, but I can't taste it.
Yeah, that's
So yeah,
that's
I'm
that's a
happy that
horrible time
they're,
to lose taste.
yes, very horrible. So I'm happy that he's on the mend and getting better, and we're, I'm glad that they're staying cautious before he comes back, because you don't want him to come back. We've said this before too. You don't want him to come back when he's at 90% and hurt himself and be out even longer.
Right,
So
right, and that's
I
that's
do
what it's
think
all
there's I do think there's probably a lot of people after reading that story feel pretty damn stupid.
well, you that's a good segue because let's talk a little bit about that, shall we? Yeah, a lot of people had a lot of things to say, not
Mhm.
nice things to say, from some people.
Mhm.
Um, so take it away. The floor is yours.
Oh, yeah, I just like this tweet by Tommy Vex. He said, fame is the only drug that makes people sick before they even get a taste of it. Um, and I think you could replace fame, um, and put in like impatience, instant gratification, because that's a big, big problem. We want what we want, when we want it, how we want it. And I think that's gotten, no offense to the younger people out there, I think that's gotten progressively worse by generation. Um, People that are younger generally don't understand, and I sound like my mother right now, generally don't understand, that you couldn't have everything at your fingertips in our generation and the older generation. There's still people out there that live, that churn their own butter. I mean, and I definitely see it in the kids, that instant gratification is ingrained so deep they can't be without their tablets for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think with this quote too, it don't go digging into people's lives. If Bray wanted to tell everybody what was going on, um, he could have, but he's not entitled to do that. Yes, he is in the entertainment industry, and hi, Richie. Yes, he's in the entertainment industry, and he has a job to do. But just like everybody else, he's human. He can't always, you know, perform at top level, especially if he's not feeling well. So don't give him a hard time. I think, I don't know. Everybody wants to be famous. Even my kids are like that. I asked Harper what she wants to be when she grows up. I want to be a YouTuber. I'm like, Harper, it's nice to have a dream, but you have to be real with yourself too. So for the successful people on YouTube that have made a bunch of money and all of that, there's probably hundreds of thousands that didn't. So the people are so desperate for it. And I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if it's lack of self-confidence, that we feel like we need complete strangers to fulfill our lives, but you don't. I don't know where I was really going with that, but yeah, fame is not always cracked up to be. Ask some of the most famous people and the people that own the most money in the public eye the most, like they'd hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I'm sure there's times that Bray hates it too, because it is an invasion of privacy. You have to give up your privacy a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the job, but he's not entitled. People aren't entitled to hear everything that's going on with his life. And that's the one thing I would imagine is difficult about being famous, is you have to work really hard to have a private life. And anytime you do, and that people look at famous people like they're perfect. And anytime they have the slightest little imperfection, they do something wrong, they get blasted on social media. And it's so unfortunate that people can't just enjoy what they want to enjoy. And I guarantee you a lot of people that are famous wish they weren't.
Yep. I have a couple friends who are well known, and what I will say, because I have asked that question before.
I was going to say they could probably answer that too.
Oh yeah. Like, what is it like being in your shoes, going to Walmart?
Right. They can't.
And they can't. And the one comment that I keep thinking about as you were talking about that is, one of my really good friends said, it'd be nice to be able to go out with my family to get dinner and not have 50 people ask me for a photo or an autograph.
Yeah.
And I get that. Like, sometimes you just want to be able to shut it off and just be a person that just sits down with your family. And
the only way to do that now is to buy out the whole restaurant.
Pretty much.
I mean, Caleb kind of hinted at that too in my interview with him, that, when he said it's different now that I have money and I spend money on ridiculous things. But yeah, it's unfortunate that I think Caleb is still in that mode that most places he's okay. He can go somewhere and not get bombarded. But people like Bray and people in the WWE, they just can't, especially somebody like Bray.
Yeah. I mean, you think about someone. I mean, think about the wrestling industry, and I mean, you see these people on TV quite a bit, or you see them online, and you get someone who has a distinct look like Bray, who is who he is in the wrestling industry, and it's got to be just difficult isn't even the correct word, but yeah, he deserves every celebrity, athlete, you name it, they deserve a semblance of privacy too. And without feeling the need or feeling the criticism from people out in internet land, saying, "Hey, what's going on with you?" Yeah.
Machine has to be fed.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, let these people live their lives and do what they need to do. And there are things, I hate to break it to some of you, maybe not people in this chat, but people on social media. Hate to break it to you, but the world doesn't rotate around you. Not everything needs to be at your fingertips at all times. You don't need all of the information. I don't need all of the information. The only thing that I'm concerned with Bray Wyatt at this point is that he's happy and healthy. And as long as that's the case, I'm good. If he returns to the ring in 2 months, 2 days, whatever it is, I'm good, because ultimately that man has a family, and 20 years from now, when he's no longer wrestling and he's sitting in a rocking chair like this, as an older man, and he's got his kids or his grandkids
I
on
was
his
gonna say
knee.
maybe his grandbabies.
Yeah, his grandbabies. He deserves to be able to sit there and enjoy that and not risk years off of his life for entertainment purposes.
That's one thing I've noticed too about political leaders. It doesn't matter which one. If you look at political leaders at the beginning of their, let's say it's even 4 years, beginning of their 4 years and the end, they've aged like 25 years.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like you think about looking at, and I think about the presidents, because the
Yeah.
media and photographers do a good job of this. They'll do a side by side, like you mentioned. And I remember, I think the one that kind of shocked me the most was George W. Bush.
Yeah, I think Obama was the one that shocked me the most.
Obama was very shocking too, because when he went in there, he had very little gray. Now he's salt and pepper all day long. So yeah, I mean, it honestly, these things age people. It wears on people, and it's a lot to keep up with, and that's just the fame part of it. That's not even the
Physical
stuff
risk.
that he does. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. I know someone mentioned this a little earlier too. I think his dad did an interview. I didn't hear it. I didn't get a chance to dig into that, so I'm sorry. Did you
I
get a
didn't.
chance?
Yeah, I didn't read much into it. It basically said he's ready to come back soon, and that's what I've been told too, soon. And that he basically said yes, he's definitely going to return to the ring soon. That's the gist I got from that.
Yeah, and
so this is not really news.
yeah, but good signs. Regardless, really good signs. Obviously, and this is part of the fun of what we do here. We speculate, we theorize, we guesstimate. But I think at this point, let me ask the chat, and then aside from wanting him to feel well, at this point, knowing what we know, or knowing what we've heard, Jody and chat, realistically, when would you like to see him back, and in what capacity to start out? Would you like to see them kind of slow play what he does, get other people involved at first, or how would you like to see things play out once he is able to come back?
I think you got to slow play it, because like they were saying, he was ill and could have some long-term effects for that, and they're being very cautious about when to bring him back. So at least that's the rumor that's gotten the most tread, I guess, as far as what was going on with him. But it's going to take time to, like you said before, knock off the ring dust. So I think you start slow. And I would love to see him get in a feud, with somebody like Grayson Waller or Miz, or one of the, not that Miz isn't top tier, but get him some matches that can get that ring dust off, and then have a big match, at Fastlane or Payback even. But I do think it's soon, as in the next 90 days. It'll definitely be before the end of the year. I think we lost Jeff.
I'm here.
Oh,
I
wait a minute.
Just stupid mute button. But in terms of bringing him back,
Hmm.
we're getting some reports now in terms of the extent and the severity of the illness. But I would say, do you want it to be a complete surprise? Do you want to know when he's coming back? Chat and Jody, and I bring that up because T Money says a big surprise and start terrorizing in the locker room.
Hmm.
So I guess my question is, do you want to know, or do you just want to see a random vignette or something like that pop up one night?
I think either way, it should be a surprise
Okay.
because that's just smart business. You're
Mm-hmm.
keeping eyes on Raw, SmackDown, any pay-per-view because everybody's going to be watching to see if Bray comes back.
Mm-hmm.
And if you announce it, it's still going to be great for all of the Bray fans, but it's kind of like, oh, and Bray loves people to be surprised.
Yeah.
So a vignette or a pop-up attack, I'm cool with either. I would just like it to be a surprise.
Yeah, I think that'd be really big.
Mhm.
If they did a surprise.
I mean, we
James
had a good idea. We had a good idea at Extreme Rules that I love what they did with that, with Extreme Rules. Like the
Yeah.
lights, it was over. They put the logo up and everybody's like, huh. It was so heavily rumored that he was coming back, and then the lights went out.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the way they did that. If they can, and it's hard to do that. If they can recreate something like that, I'd blow everybody's mind.
Yeah, it really would. James Grant saying, if he's 100%, I want to see him back at the next biggest PLE Survivor Series.
Mm.
First to start giving video message, getting fans wanting to see him being back. Same thing they did with White Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Hurdy Sketch saying he rewatched the match against LA Knight and gotta say he seemed very unsteady on his feet, almost fell a few times.
Yeah. Well, he had that knee brace on.
Yeah. Yeah. Wyatt Six saying, I hope Bray Wyatt returns with a new faction. So that was another part of the reporting that was out there.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, there was supposed to be a faction involved. And I want to ask the chat and you, Jody, how do you feel about that? Do you want to see him with a faction? Do you want to see him come back by himself? What are your thoughts on the possibility of a new faction?
I think it depends on how they play it out. I don't really have a problem with him being in a faction, as long as it's played well, as long as it's written well. Which being Bray Wyatt, I would imagine, yes, it would be written well, but kind of like similar to what Judgment Day is doing. They all have their own pieces, but they're a group. And I would like if they can kind of emulate that each person kind of does have their own stuff going on, their own storylines, but they're just a group together. I think that would be neat. I don't think he needs a faction, but if you do a faction that way, he does have the opportunity to spotlight himself as well. The other characters have an opportunity to spotlight themselves as well.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it. If
You're
they do.
okay with it. And I know some of the names, that have been floating around.
Oh, the internet went nuts.
Oh, I know. People went crazy with that, which, let's see, Hanzo, thank you for the super chat, says slow return, have the real life puppets each week attack a random superstar, then the actual opponent have,
Then the actual.
attack them, have the Fiend attack them to set up the feud. Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Unless it's, one of those series matches that the Fiend has to be, the ultimate.
The final boss, basically.
Yes, I was trying to figure out what the word was. The final boss, the Bowser.
Yeah. You know what? That was well done. You just tied that back to my son playing Mario Kart. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think you slow build it. I really do.
Yeah.
Because especially if this theory that I have about Uncle Harper.
Mm,
I think it's possible that this is going to be a faction.
okay.
So that they'll still do it.
Can you go a little bit into that theory?
So the theory is, you know how we've talked a lot before about the door and the Dante's Inferno reference and it being dark on the other side and people having to face their worst fears when they walk through that door. And the entrance, and I've said this before too, the entrance is him coming through the door from the funhouse into the underworld or whatever, this upside down world. So if all the people that are in this upside down dark world have a real life person on the other side, so we've seen Abby, Huskus, Mercy, we've seen what they look like on the dark side. And what if this new character that we've seen the Fiend. So what if this new character that we saw at the Pitch Black match, what if that is Uncle Howdy's dark side?
Mm.
And then which would be Uncle Harper.
Yeah.
The dark side, like the Fiend is the dark side of Bray. What if this new character is the dark side of Howdy?
Mm. Now let me ask you this. What if they went that route to bring him back slowly? If we started to get a little more with Howdy and then maybe Harper and some of this faction, because Deanna brings up that point, of faction would work well with health issues being considered. So what if that's an avenue to bring him back where it's a slow build to his ring return, but you're doing something with the story in the meantime? How would you feel about that? And same question to the chat.
I mean, that's what they were doing when he first came back. It was a slow build.
Right.
And I loved that. I loved the little white rabbit clues and looking for puppets, and it made you really, really pay attention. And I liked that style. I liked building him up and having these big matches on big pay-per-views, and that's what I think you save these characters like the Fiend, like the dark version, like Uncle Harper. I'm just gonna start calling him Uncle Harper.
Yeah.
That's when you utilize these characters.
Yeah.
Fiend doesn't have a dark side because he can go in and out of the door as much as he wants to.
Mm-hmm. Two quick questions here, Jody. Would Cross be a good fit with Bray's group?
Oh yeah, that was another thing. I had mentioned, I put out a Twitter post about Cross's promo being very Bray-ish. Because there's a part in that promo, I think I sent you a picture of it. And Wrestling Wizard was the one that posted a video about it. Yeah, there it is. Thank you. So that TV up there, it says the end is near. That's exactly the same font that we were getting all the White Rabbit stuff through. And that whole promo was just, I was just sitting there going, oh, that's very Brayish. And I said something like that on Twitter, and I tagged Cross in it, and he liked it. And I know somebody else had tagged Scarlet in something about working with Bray, and she retweeted it with that emoji. So I think it's possible. I mean, you've got Bray, you've got Bo, Alexa's out, so you could have Cross and Scarlet. And then you could have Dutch and Vincent, or I mean, any two other people. But if you're going to make it into a faction, I feel like you need a female now, because you've got, I can't remember her name, Mia Yim with AJ Styles. You've got Rhea with the Judgment Day. So they need a female. Alexa's not available. So, I mean, yeah, I would love to see Cross and Scarlet with that kind of group or a feud against them.
Well, I have two questions about that.
Mhm.
Since Hanzo brings up, he says the faction needs to have Miss Bliss when she's
Mhm.
ready. So my question here, two-parter here. Would you be okay with Nikki Cross and Scarlet being in this faction, and with the end result being we get a break between Cross and Bray, and it
Mhm.
ends up being a program at the end where both women somehow get involved?
Oh yeah, I would like that for sure.
Because
Alba Fire and Isladon, yeah, people are saying that too.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think as much as we want to see Cross and Bray together because of how cool it would be,
Mhm.
I will be honest with you, I really want to see them in a program against each other
Me too.
because of how cool it would be,
Yes.
and the promos and
The
the
promos alone, man.
yeah, and I mean so much dark stuff that they could do
Mhm.
leading up to that. So
Well, I just thought that font was very similar
yeah.
to the stuff we got in the TV and the White Rabbit stuff, and I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. Brandon bringing up Liv Morgan. Liv did recently cut her hair, which I know for some people was a big news story. Somebody sent me that story when then they said, "Oh, it must be a slow news day." You know, someone changed their hairstyle, so it must have been a slow news day. But no, I mean, I think there are a lot of possibilities. I think whoever you bring in terms of female talent, especially if your goal is to have Miss Bliss as a part of it, is you have to think about the end result while you're setting it up. Because if you can plant little seeds all along the way that leads to this person being ousted in some way, then I think it makes the story tie in nicely. But um, it I think you have to be really intentional with who you involve with
Yeah.
this. Anyway, I mean, just exactly, Deanna.
He
Yep,
had a
Cross had a
character
yep,
called White Rabbit.
yep, yep. It was in Lucha Underground. Yep. You'll
Hmm.
have to you'll have to go back and see some of the mask and different things he did. I think it was Lucha Underground or AAA, but I'll send you a picture of it just so you can see what he was doing. But yeah, that he had a character, the White Rabbit. So a lot of people initially thought that was teasing a character change for him
Yeah.
in the beginning, but then it turned out to be Bray, which blew all of our
Or did
blew
it
all,
really turn out to be Bray?
or did it exactly? See there you go. The story is not over. So there
Were
you
the White Rabbit stuff actually Bray though?
right.
Could they have
Was
been
it Bray?
somebody else?
Right.
Did they ever connect the two,
Right.
White Rabbit and Bray? I don't think they ever did. That's that's your research. That's your homework for this week. Find out if there's a point that those two storylines ever connect with the White Rabbit and Bray coming back.
Yeah. Bonkers saying Joe Gacy, Isla Dawn, or Alba Fire.
Mm-hmm. I think
So
Josie would be a good.
I do too, because I think you could almost do like a student and teacher kind of deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be really cool. But again, I won't fantasy book myself into a frenzy here.
Oh,
Uh,
so he did reference the White Rabbit.
yeah.
Oh, try to explain it. Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember if they actually ever connected the two storylines together, but I mean, yeah, it's still possible that Cross was the White Rabbit all along.
Yeah. Could be. Could be. Well, Jody, I want to ask your final thoughts on Bray and this story and
47
the
already.
yeah, it is. It's crazy.
That went by.
Um, very fast. Um, because I know we've got one other picture with another friend of the show that you sent over, and then we have our artwork. So, final thoughts on the story and where you think things could end up, and your feelings about just the updates that we've recently received. Just kind of wrapping that up.
We do, we just want Bray to be 100%, and if he's not ready for that, then he's not ready for that. Bray seems like a really good person to be able to kind of rub that stuff off his shoulders a little bit. So, I hope it doesn't, all the haters out there, doesn't bother him that much. He does seem like he has a pretty tough skin, but we're just looking forward to having him back when he's ready. And the only thing I know with 100% certainty is that it's soon. And that's all I know. So I really appreciate you guys and all your prayers and your well wishes this past week. It was it's been a rough ride.
Yeah. We're gonna keep those coming though. We're gonna keep the prayers and well wishes coming, and
especially for the financial situation.
Yeah.
We have, thankfully, my last paycheck, we did save up half the mortgage payment and put it in savings. So that's good that there is a dent there, but I wasn't planning on finding out that I wasn't gonna be able to work for a month.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna
wish
pray
they would
that,
have that beforehand.
Yeah. We're going to pray that the Lord provides in a mighty way, exceedingly and abundantly above what you are in need of. So we're going to believe that. And
so if you feel led to donate and help us out, we would greatly appreciate it. The GoFundMe link is on my Twitter.
We have another friend of the show who honestly coined the basically the motto that we live by, that we tell people to live by. Don't be a dick. Jed Shepherd, who has been posting some very interesting stuff recently, with a certain film project. But no, this is a different. He's holding up a sign here, and Jody just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about it.
I love Jed. He's such a nice guy. Still, even interviewing Caleb. Sorry, Caleb. This is still my favorite interview to date that we've done. So he went to the stairs from The Exorcist, and with a newspaper article about William Friedkin. So it's really cool that he's kind of exploring his horror roots a little bit, and everybody is. I don't know that I could walk up or down those stairs. Like, that would be too weird for me.
Yeah.
And he has been posting a lot of Blair Witch stuff. He just needs to, he just needs to come out with it and say, yes, I'm working on another Blair Witch project.
Yeah. Just tell us, Jay. Just tell us.
Yep.
Inquiring minds want to know.
He kind of did already on our show.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He did. But William Friedkin, I believe, played was he the priest in The Exorcist?
He directed it, I think.
He directed it? Okay. I'm getting my folks mixed up now. Sorry.
I'm getting everything mixed up thanks to medication. So, yeah.
Mine is just old age and exhaustion.
He did it.
But yeah, okay. He directed. All right. Well, we've got some artwork, Jody.
We have a lot.
We have a lot of artwork, a lot of great artwork. So let's get that started, shall we?
No, this is your favorite, you guys' favorite segment.
Yeah, and speaking of factions, we'll start off the artwork with this.
I don't remember, Eric, if you're in the chat, I'm sure you remember who did this. I want to say it's a Black Mass design, but I could be wrong. Because I want to make sure that that we credit our beautiful, wonderful artists. But I kind of love this. You've got Cross and Scarlet and Bray and Joe Gacy, Nikki Cross, and
Dexter Loomis.
Yes, thank you. So, I do like that, and the idea of the puppets being actual people. I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
But I love this edit, this mock-up, because they've all got their own little dark version to them. And then you've got the sixes in the background.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Mhm.
And I had to share this too.
So this was on Alexa's birthday. This was on Alexa's birthday, and Jason Baker posted it when they were working with Huskus and Alexa and Jason, and it was just too funny to not bring on here and share.
Yeah, awesome. And speaking of Miss Bliss,
yeah. So this is a piece from Brittany K. This picture of Bray and Alexa from the Funhouse from the Mad Hatter episode. I love that. Like I said, I love her attention to detail. She goes into all of it.
Yeah, this is really, really awesome. Really awesome stuff. And I really enjoyed this episode of the Funhouse. So seeing this was
that
pretty
was
awesome.
A pretty funny one.
Yeah, it was good.
There's Richie. Look, let me tell you something. Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
That's a photograph. That's not that's it's not possible. Like that level of that's just not possible. That's a photograph.
Richie, I'm gonna have to hit you up.
Yeah,
this might need to be a part of the collection.
Oh, so good. I mean, it literally does. If you wouldn't have known better that it was a piece of art, you would have thought it was a photograph.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Yeah, so good. Really good.
So this one, let me pull up my DMs. I think it was Albert. It was Aesthetic Wyatt 6 on Twitter. Kind of did that spin of Uncle Howdy in anime cartoon style, and I really, really like this. I think it's really neat.
Yes, this is dope. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Talked about this guy a good bit in the show, so
yeah, I wanted to incorporate some cross in here. So this one Blake did of carrying cross. I love the flames in the background.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
And we got another here.
Again. That looks like a picture. That's a photograph. Like, seriously. I don't know how you do it, Richie. Like, have you studied art for like a really long time? Because you're phenomenal at it. That literally looks like a picture.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. This is another one that I have to have. This next one, I got to have this one too, of Cross, but this next one I got to have as a part of the collection too.
Oh, I love this one. Brittany did this one. I just love. At first, when you look at it, it looks like a jumbled mess, and I mean that in a good way. But then you have to really look at it, and you're like, oh, it's Bray sitting in the rocking chair. Like you really have to look at what you're looking at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I mean, it looked like I saw this and I was like, okay, this is really dope. I got to have this as a part of my collection at some point.
When I hit Brittany up on Twitter.
Yeah,
hit her up on Twitter. She's selling a ton of different artwork. She's very good as well.
Yeah, and she's got a lot of trading cards, I think, too. That I've seen some things about. So yeah, hit her up.
Sell some of her trading cards, and she does other stuff with her artwork. She can make it into a sticker. I've got a couple of stickers of her artwork on my car. So yeah, definitely hit her up if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have this as a part of the collection. All right. I like that too.
No idea if this is Bray related or not. It's probably not, but this is another piece from Mr. Kyle Scarborough. I will always try to squeeze him in here. Sorry, I was reading the chat. I said it. So yeah, I just love that. The detail.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a tree.
Yeah.
But It's not.
Right. It's tremendous.
We do not die.
It's tremendous.
Amazing. So this is wrestling edits. I believe it's Tribal Goat on Twitter. I love that he got all of these different pieces of Bray in there, and he's got that real sweet picture of Bray and JoJo in the background, which is beautiful. Those two are sickeningly adorable together. But I love that you've got the Burn Fiend in there, and there's just all these different versions of Bray Wyatt, and you can see how diverse and multi-talented he is.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a little guest, and she wants to say hello. So go ahead and say hi.
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 What's your name?
Kinsley.
Hi, Kinsley. How are you?
Good.
You've been keeping your dad on his toes?
You've been keeping me busy.
Yes.
We're looking at artwork, baby.
Okay.
So the next one, who is that?
The Fiend.
Yep, that's right.
So this is a Black Mask design. Won 4 years ago. The Fiend debuts at SummerSlam. Which, SummerSlam, like we've said that before, SummerSlam is his jam. That's his pay-per-view. And it was hard to not see him. But yeah, I love this edit with the red, and it looks like fire. And you got the blood moon in the back. I mean, this is fantastic.
I've got another little guest in here. Go ahead and say hello, JJ.
Hi, JJ.
Yeah, you.
Hi.
How are you?
What that?
She said, how are you?
Good.
I know you're talking about your Mario Kart.
What that? I want first to.
What's your favorite track?
And this second Grand Prix.
Hey, what's your favorite track?
I don't think so. Ask her what's my favorite track. I really like Bowser's track. Well, my favorite track is the toy one.
Oh, okay.
I like Rainbow Road. That's my favorite.
You got to play that one, right?
We already have.
Okay, you like that one? All right, so there's the you like that? That's cute,
funny. Right? Funny and cute.
Yeah, I like this one. So,
yeah.
Eric posted this one. I don't even know how to get one of those, but I want one really bad. That's so cool.
It is cool. All right, we got one more here.
This is Wrestling Edits. Tribal Goat on Twitter. And I loved the positioning in this one, that you have Bray looking up to Uncle Harper. That's what I'm gonna start calling him now, Uncle Harper. And then you've got the flames in the bottom. I mean, it's just so creative. It says "revel in what you are" in the background if you look really closely.
Yeah,
it's just so good.
It is. It's good. It's good. Well, thank you all so much for joining us this evening. We greatly appreciate it. Jody, we hope you feel better. We're going to continue to say prayers for you. And hopefully, we're going to pray that everything works out with the finances too. And hopefully, hopefully and prayerfully, you're able to get some provisions there. So, but thank you all so much, and to our artists, thank you all. You all are awesome. You're great.
Yeah.
We love your artwork.
So the best way to ensure that your artwork is actually in the show, make sure you DM it to me before Mondays. I do typically on like Sundays, I'll go through Twitter feeds on social media, see if I can find anything. But if you definitely want yours shown, just shoot it to me in a DM before, like on Sunday or something, and I'll make sure it gets in there.
Yep, we'll make sure. All right, folks. Well, thank you all so much. Take care. You want to say bye-bye to everyone?
Bye.
All right. See you all later. We'll be back on this channel on Thursday for Impact Wrestling. So come check us out at 7:45 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. And if you don't mind, drop us a like on this video. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I should have had Kinsley do that because she knows how to do a YouTube sign off. So next time we'll have you do that, okay? All right, everyone. Well, thank you all so much. We greatly appreciate you joining us. And until next time, folks, be safe and be kind to one another. Talk to you soon.
So what do you say? You want to see my secret?